shooting is just always kind of what made me the happiest. I love putting things together. I love seeing that end process, but if you're going to be an editor, if you're going to do that, you're going to be locked in a room for 12 hours a day without seeing the sunlight. Really, I think I gravitated towards shooting just because I like to be outside. I like to go on trips. I like to, have adventures. And that's really what shooting is. Shane Smith, our founder, CEO, fearless leader, good friend of mine. The company's grown so much that there aren't a lot of people still involved on this in the field level that were involved on that level at day one. Sarush is another owner-founder. So I'd say me, Shane, and Sarush might be the only handful of people that were in the field shooting stuff when I started that are still in the field shooting stuff. Shane, he's in the edits and he's going on the trips. He's kind of doing everything. And so I do all of his shoots. And we've been traveling together for 10 years now. We've had some weird experiences that, you haven't had with anyone else. Like sleeping in a weird little single bed with like a big furry weird blanket on the border of India and Pakistan after you've eaten a bologna ball for dinner and just like wondering like what the fuck you're gonna do tomorrow. That's become more and more an interview with the president of this country or the ruler of this land and less of sharing a granola bar in a bed in Kashmir. In the earlier days of Vice News, we would just go to countries on a tourist visa, and surfboards are a great cover. Like, who are you guys with these cameras? We're surfers. Like, cool, whatever. No one cares what you're doing. When I was a kid growing up, surfing was everything. It's just like a reset. It doesn't matter how much bullshit you're dealing with. You can kind of just go wash it all off. So I took photography, I think every year in high school, really just because that's what all the surfers took so that we could leave and go surfing. Somewhere within that, I actually started to like photography. I'd actually not leave school and spend time in the dark room, and it does all stem from that, the first sort of photo class, which was taken based on surfing. I think a lot of people look at what I do and they're like, wow, you're doing crazy stuff. I can't believe you went there. Like, that's like, aren't you scared? And we're pretty safe, usually. I did just get back from North Korea at a time when they were threatening thermonuclear war with the world. But for the most part, it seems safe. You do have the thing like, are they gonna let us leave North Korea? Are they gonna hold us hostage? The last time I was there was sort of a sports diplomacy trip and rolled out the rockets and the soldiers and had the big parade and showed us just how powerful they are. Standing on the street when all those soldiers go by, like this concrete, you feel it moving with the goose steps of thousands of people all marching in time. And I felt like it was like the Edward Muybridge photos of the horse where they finally found out that all four legs leave at the same time. There's a moment where they like put one leg out and the next leg comes off the ground before this one hits. Full 90-degree angles, like boom, boom, boom. And they walked for miles. You could see them coming from way down the street. If you've got that many people prepared to goose step that far, then like you might be a scary power. I think the dumbest thing we ever did is still maybe my favorite shoot. We were in Congo, and after an all-day sort of four-wheel drive, we kind of hit the end of the road, and there's a UN camp there. and the UN guys were sort of like, yeah, no one's really been past here. There's no roads, and I don't think it's safe. We don't really recommend going past here. So we hired some guys with dirt bikes and kept on going into the woods, hanging on to the back of some guy's shitty Chinese dirt bike, which made it about a quarter mile. Wasn't too long before we were found by sort of like the scariest group of guys you can imagine. They kind of look like stoned teenagers with machine guns. You're just kind of like, fuck. Like thinking back in your head, like, just fuck is all you can really think. Obviously, I didn't shoot any of this. I couldn't because for fear of dying. So these guys take us back to their leader and sort of figure out what to do with us. Eventually decide that they're gonna let us pass with escorts. And it wasn't until months later when we're back in Brooklyn, we're getting translations of all the footage. And the guys were basically like, hey boss, found these guys in the jungle, should we just kill them? And then that's when our fixer stepped in, and we were with one of the grandsons of the Mai Mai tribe. I guess the Mai Mai are so mythical and sort of scary that these dudes were like, no, if they're guests of the Mai Mai, we don't want to fuck with them. Instead, we have to send an escort to make sure they don't get hurt. So had we not been with the right people, it like wasn't even a question for these guys. I don't know, you kind of have this arrogance of like, yeah, like, you know, we're American journalists. These guys, whatever their struggle is, probably know that if they kill a bunch of us, like, it's gonna be a huge international incident and hell will rain down on them in some fashion. But when you're just like a stoned teenager living in the jungle, like, you don't give a fuck. So I think they're like the scariest people around, are stoned teenagers. Sometimes I think I forget how lucky I am. I have the best job in the world. It's super lucky. I've been to 69 countries over the past 10 years. I'm outside all the time. I'm getting to work with my friends. I get to put my own crews together. I find myself complaining about all kinds of trivial things that, you know, I feel like anyone will find something to complain about with their job. But at the end of the day, it's a dream job.